Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is my 2024 Tesla Model 3 long range all-wheel drive, and in this video I'm going to go over why this Tesla is a better daily driver than my RS3. If you guys are new to the channel, I had a 2024 Audi RS3 that I was using as my daily driver. Some things on that car was a little frustrating as a daily driver, so I'm going to go over a few different topics here. We're going to hop inside so we can get out of this wind. It's a little windy today. Alright guys, for number one, I want to talk about comfort. So let's go ahead and hop inside here. So check this out guys, I have tons of leg room in here. You can see my knee isn't like brushed up against the center console or anything. Lots of leg room. I have a little footrest over here. You guys can see that. Little footrest. Very comfortable seating position. The seats are really nice and comfortable as well. With my RS3, unfortunately, it was really like tight feeling inside, and the door panel it had like a bunch of weird designs and stuff in the door panel where it'd come out and kind of intrude into your area. This feels way more spacious inside. The dash is a little bit longer out there, a lot more room, a lot more headroom as well. So you guys know, if you've seen my videos before, I talked about the headroom in the RS3. If you're a tall individual, you're not gonna be able to fit in that car with the sunroof. This car has a glass roof and I fit just fine. Tons of headroom. I don't feel like I'm up in the ceiling. I don't feel like I'm overgrown for the car. So comfort is amazing in this car. Another thing kind of going along with the comfort is the soft suspension. So we'll get into that more when I go into the driving portion of this video. But this car has a very soft suspension. The RS3, don't get me wrong, was very good with its suspension as well when it was in comfort mode. But this car feels a little bit more comfortable. And it could be because of how smooth the powertrain is, or you know, maybe the 18-inch tires with the bigger sidewall feel more soft than the RS3's 19-inch tires, which would make sense. But this car does feel more comfortable suspension-wise than the RS3. Another thing too, in relation to, you know, obviously this car being electric, is the smooth power delivery and the smooth transmission. The RS3 had a dual clutch 7-speed, and while it was great snapping off those gears, you know, when you're wide open throttle, daily driving, going through parking lots and stuff, it was very clunky. And then when the car was cold, it kind of acted a little weird. It was smooth sometimes, but in daily driving situations, you run into a lot of scenarios where the transmission is clunky. And then with the RS3's power delivery, no one's home below 3,000. Once it hits 3,000, boom, then you have way too much power. This car, you can modulate the power perfectly. Next up, I want to talk about cargo space. So again, kind of going along with that, along the lines of comfort and space, this car has tons of room inside. So take a look in here. Tons of room in this console, and it even goes like underneath this little panel here. Tons of room in here. It's lined in felt so your stuff doesn't, you know, roll around or scratch around or vibrate, make noises. You got your cup holders right here, which you can cover if you wanted to, just like that. Or you can open it back up. Let's cover it for now. Let's open up this one here. Tons of room in there. I got a garage door opener, some extra keys. Since this car doesn't have like an actual key, I have the keys kind of separately. You got a little 12 volt in there, but look at all this room. Tons of room in there, tons of room in this one as well. You got storage space up here. So this is actually a wireless charger, so you can charge your phone on the left or the right side. I got my draggy over here because we are going to do some draggy runs a little bit later, so definitely stay tuned for those. Not in this video, but in a separate video. Also, the space in the rear and the trunk, so let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Alright guys, so I have my seat all, like pretty much all the way back because obviously I'm tall. So not a lot of room behind this seat, but if you look on the passenger side, or someone that's a little less tall as I am, you can see there's tons of room back here. Tons of room. The floor is flat all the way across. And then you have the big door pockets in the front and in the rear. It does have a power trunk, which the RS3 did not have. Look at all this room in here. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. But there is so much room in this trunk. It goes like way in there. The RS3 was definitely a lot smaller. And then look at all this storage space you have under here as well. So I got my little charging thing in there, but that's really deep. Way more than the RS3 had, which again, the daily driver, these are the kind of things that are important. Power closing trunk, just like that. And since this car's electric, you also have a front trunk as well. This one's not as deep and not as spacious as the trunk is, but you can still put some stuff in here. Let's say you go to the grocery store, you just get a few things. You can put it in the front trunk if you'd like, so it's not rolling around the back. All right, next up, I want to talk about features. So this car does have a few features over the RS3. So for one, it has ventilated front seats. So if you go into the climate screen here, you can see I have my ventilated seat on level 1 right now. It has ventilated and heated seats for the driver and passenger. the RS3 is only available with heated seats. And let me tell you, these ventilated seats, they actually work. It doesn't just blow hot air at you, or it doesn't just blow air. It actually blows cold air. Like, it's a good ventilated seat. Another thing too, the rear seats, as you guys can see here, these rear seats are heated, and they have their own climate screen back here. So you can turn on the climate, you can turn on the heated seats, you can play games back here, you can turn up and down the volume, and then I can control all that stuff from the front here too. Like, let's say you have kids back there and you don't want them messing with it, you can turn it off from the front, or you can control it just from the front. So that's amazing as well. There's also tons of cameras. The RS3 just had a backup camera. This car has tons of cameras. So if you press the camera button here, we have the backup, and we have 2 side cameras too. So when you turn on your turn signal, the side camera pops on, or if you just go through the Tesla app and you just want to kind of look at the car or have like a dash cam, you can do that as well. And there's also a camera in the front too. So if I go over here to dash cam, I can pull up. See, you guys can see right there, there's the front camera. See, there's me driving. Look at that. You see the left side, the right side, the front, the rear, everything. And that's all built into the car. That's not extra options, that's not extra cost. That's all just built into the car. Another thing too is the autopilot. So I understand, as a car enthusiast, you want to drive your car, right? Like, you don't want the car to drive itself. But the autopilot is cool technology to have. So when you're just cruising down the highway, and since I bought this car new, it's a lease, but I bought it new, I have 1 month free autopilot. So I can just press this button here and it will drive me to work. And it's super cool, like just watching it do its thing. Obviously I like driving myself, but it's, again, more technology. The RS3 doesn't have that type of technology. It does have the adaptive cruise control and stuff, but it doesn't have like the autopilot and you know, that advanced technology. So if we go to our Tesla app here, it's gonna open it up. So you can see we got the car on there. We can turn on the fan speed ahead of time. It shows you what temperature the interior is. It shows you the location of the car, all your charging information. Super intuitive app, shows you your battery percentage. Like, this app is so nice. Like, it's not laggy, it's not, you know, old or anything like that. Like, this is really nice, modern, smooth technology, just like an iPhone. You can lock it, unlock it, you can look at the charging stats. You know, you can see there I have it set to 90% limit. You can open up the frunk, you can turn on your fan speed ahead of time, which I do when I'm at work. So when I go out to the car, because I live in Vegas and it's 100 degrees very often in the summertime. So I can start this car ahead of time, just have it sitting there in the parking lot. 10 minutes before I get in and it's already cooled off inside. And I can monitor the temperature as it's going down. See, shows the interior and exterior temperature. The RS3 did not have remote start available, not even through the app, nothing. It just does not have remote start. This felt lining makes stuff not rattle in your interior. So for example, I always keep hand sanitizer in the door pocket here. It doesn't rattle and it doesn't make noise. In the RS3, since it didn't have this nice felt lining in the door pockets, this in here would rattle and make a bunch of noise. Stuff that you wouldn't even think about, like the soft touch down here. Like soft touch doors all the way down here. The RS3 has hard plastic down there. The whole dash is soft touch. All right, guys. For this last part of the video, I'm gonna go over a few more points with you, and it's all gonna be in relation to the way the car drives and stuff like that. So just put your foot on the brake, it pops up the gear shifter, slide it forward, now we're in drive. And let's make a U-turn. That's one of the things too. Check out this U-turn radius, right? No one's coming. Look at this. Extremely sharp U-turn radius. The RS3 had horrible turning radius. And I understand, you know, it has 265s in the front, it's a reverse stagger and stuff, the car's small, but this car turns super sharp. You can make U-turns great. You don't have to always, you know, make 3-point turns every time you're pulling into a parking spot or something like that. So for the next point, I want to talk about the cost of ownership. So as you know, this is an electric car, it's a Tesla, right? You don't have to pay for gas. I understand different parts of the country, gas can be less expensive, but here in Vegas, gas is kind of on the more expensive side. And it's really nice not having to pay for gas, you know, that $50, that $55, $60 every week, you know, to pay for gas. And that adds up to be quite a bit of money since I drive quite a bit. So this car is saving me quite a bit in gas, and I'm able to charge it for free at work. And then with the new Tesla leases, you get 3 months of free supercharging. So I don't have to worry about paying for supercharging as of right now either, which is nice, which is a nice benefit to have. My insurance went down by about $30 to $40 a month putting this car on the policy instead of the RS3. Teslas are kind of on the more expensive side to insure, but it did go down from the RS3, which is nice. So I'm saving money in insurance, saving money in gas, no maintenance costs. I'm not gonna have to worry about changing the brakes in the 2 years I have the car. I'm not gonna have to worry about changing the tires, none of that stuff. This car is gonna cost me $0 to maintain, $0. Whereas the RS3, I'd have to do oil changes, obviously. I have to, you know, worry about the brakes, the high performance tires, they wear out really fast. And I understand it may be worth it for the people that want that gas powered car experience, but I love having the cheap cost of ownership. That's what you want a daily to be. You want it to be cheap to drive. You want it to just be to get you A to B, comfortable, soft, and that's exactly what this car does. Last up, the most important thing, the thing that drove me crazy about the RS3, we're gonna talk about the power and the torque. So this car has instant torque, right? As with all electric cars do, which makes daily driving a breeze. I can get in and out of traffic nicely. I can merge onto the on-ramp nicely. I can get around people real quick. The power on this car is amazing. So let me show you guys real quick. So you're just cruising, you want to get by someone? Instant, super fast, crazy speed. Like, this car is faster than what I need in a daily driver. But the part I like about it is that torque. The RS3 did not have torque at all unless you're going balls to the wall all out. This car, that was flooring it, but I can do third throttle. Check this out. Third of a throttle. Still takes off super fast. Barely stepping on it. So I love that part about it. It's consistent. I don't have to worry about, because here in Vegas we only have 91 gas. This car, I don't have to worry about the gas. I don't need to worry about high elevation and high temperatures and stuff ruining the performance. This car, as it sits, I'll tell you guys right now, you know, I'll film a draggy video later proving it. This car is faster than my RS3. In like 30 to 100, you know, that mid-range and stuff, the electric car will just destroy the RS3. And I'm talking about a stock one. I'm not talking about one on E30. I'm not talking about a tuned one once you spend $6 grand to get a separate ECU. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a stock RS3 the way it comes from the factory. See, merging out into traffic, super fast. Look at that, like nothing. The range, I know a lot of people are scared about electric cars and the range and stuff. So this car on a full charge gets the same range as the RS3 would. If anything, this gets better range if you're doing like in town and back to work type driving. So you're not gonna have to worry about range. As much as you fill up with gas with the RS3, you can charge the Tesla. I would recommend this car if you guys have two cars. I do recommend having a gas car in the fleet, just in case, you know, you need to go somewhere, or just in case you happen to be low on battery or whatever. Have a gas car available. If it was your only car, I'd still say get the RS3, so then you can have the enjoyment of having an actual engine and stuff like that. But as a second car, or for my use case, which is to use as a daily driver to go to work and back, this car is perfect for that. When I get home from work and I want to go out cruising or go to a car meet or something, I take the M2 and I have all that fun with that. Basically, the moral of the story is this: I'm happy with my decision going with the Tesla. It's way better as a daily than the RS3 was, and it's even faster. So it's not even like I'm losing performance. And what I mean by faster is like it accelerates faster, not faster as in top speed, because this car is limited to 125. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, is like when you're sitting here at a stoplight and you want to just take off fast from the stoplight, in the RS3 you'd have to use launch control if you want to get the most optimal takeoff. If you just floor it from a standstill, there's so much lag between the DSG and the turbo lag that it doesn't take off very fast. Like, it takes off once you wait like 2 seconds, but this car you can just take off from the stoplight, which is super nice. I'll demonstrate that for you guys right now. RS3, I'd have to use launch control. This car, instant. Look at that. Woo! Oh, that's fun. And this is a super rough road here. Suspension soaking it up like nothing. All right, guys, just made it back to the house here. Got the Tesla parked in the corner. The reason the Tesla's on this side and the M2's on this side is because all of my charging outlets are on this side of the wall, not on this one. So I have the charger right here and put it into the charge port right there. By the way, guys, I've never had to use this yet. I have it just as a backup, and I might have the 220 volt or 240 volt, whatever it's called, installed in the house. Am I saying the Tesla Model 3 is a better car than the RS3? Absolutely not. Am I saying the Tesla Model 3 is a better daily driver than the RS3? Especially if you have a really cool gas car to use as your fun weekend car? Absolutely. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.